Begin by drawing your attention to your whole body from head to toes. This is a very gentle yoga practice called the joints and glands. It's a Himalayan tradition practice. In this, we move from head to toes and move and lubricate all of the joints, work with all the glands in the body. It's not what you might think of as traditional yoga. And my camera is not really set up in a studio where I can show you the full practice either. But let's just do some gentle guided movements as we start the day today and as we continue the silence from yesterday. To start in Tadasana, the standing mountain pose. Get yourself settled so that you're firm on your feet and relax through your whole body. In Tadasana, the shoulders are over the hips, over the ankles, lots of length through the back of the neck. Notice your breath. Ideally, if our shoulders are over our hips, we're using our skeleton, the structure of our body, to hold us up. Our arms can be relaxed, shoulders relaxed back. Just get yourself settled and bring your attention into your feet. Notice the big toe side and the little toe side of the foot and the heel, and balance between those three. We don't want to be too far forward or leaning back. Have a little bit of softness in the back of the knees so that you're not locked anywhere in your body. And then exhale, let your head turn to one side. Lots of lightness through the head and neck. Inhale to center. Let your body move with the breath. Exhale to the side. Inhale to the center. Eyes are either closed or the gaze is soft. Just as you're finishing the inhale, getting to center, exhaling to the side. The first rule of yoga is ahimsa, or non-harming. So be mindful of what's happening in your body so that you're not overdoing it. We might move to 60% of our capacity at the beginning, especially through an area where there's often tightness. When you finish, coming back to center. Lots of length through the back of the neck. Relax the shoulders. And then exhale to one side. Inhale back to center. Keeping your chin parallel to the floor. Exhale to the side. The key to doing any practice with the body is mindfulness. Work with your awareness of your breath, of your body. Being kind applies in our body as well. And before we can not do something that hurts us, we need to be aware of what it feels like, what's going on in our body. Come back to center for a few relaxed, mindful breaths. And then bring your head directly forward. Let your chin roll forward like it's on a rail. Keep it parallel to the floor. Bring your chin back to a turtle. Move forward. Check your whole body, head to toes. See if you're still steady and relaxed. Come back to center. Take a few breaths. Notice your body. And then begin to inhale. Inhale your shoulders up. And then roll them down and around. Bring them forward as you're breathing out. And bring them back as you're opening the chest, breathing in. Let your breath deepen a bit here. Let your shoulders be moving, your arms be relaxed off your shoulders. And then come to center and reverse that motion. As you inhale, you're opening your chest. As you exhale, you're bringing your shoulders forward. And then back into Tadasana. We start from here and come back to here. Notice what your body feels like right now. Notice your breath. See if your structure can be stable enough that you can relax your belly, you can breathe diaphragmatically. Notice your neck, your shoulders. Give yourself some room through the back of your neck. And then paying attention to your breath as well as the feeling in your body. As you breathe in, begin to move your hands up to the side, palms down till you reach shoulder height, and then palms up. Inhaling up. Exhale, bring your arms down. And let yourself do that several more times. Inhale, bring your arms up. Really stretching up. Exhale, bring your arms down. Continue to do that, stretching up. I have a shoulder injury that I'm working with, so I'm not going to do that all the way to the top the way I might have. I'm not going to do it as many times. It felt good to move my shoulder a bit. So inhale, stretching up. And feel that coming from the lower rib cage up, that lift. Stretch yourself way up. Soft even a bit through the shoulders, really reaching up through the rib cage. And then bringing your arms back down on each exhalation. Let your whole body relax. And the next time you have your hands up, clasp your hands together, stretch up, and then on an exhalation, come to one side. And then inhale to center. As you're exhaling, get a real stretch through the side of the rib cage. Lots of length through the whole body. You can have your arms stretched right up if you like. Inhale to center. And then on an exhale, bring your arms back down. Get yourself settled again, move around a bit. These very simple movements start to wake up the energy in our body. We start to feel a bit more alive, especially when we're doing these in the morning. And now we're going to do a simple practice of putting our hands behind our back. Clasp the hands and then bring the hands down so that the shoulders come together at the back. Lots of length through your tailbone. And what we're doing here is opening up through the rib cage. Stretching up through the collarbones and breathe as deeply as you can. Lots of length through your neck. And then release, let yourself come back again to Tadasana. And then begin to swing the arms. So we're not coordinating with the breath anymore. Just let the breath move freely. You can get quite a big movement going here. Shrug your shoulders up and down. Just let some energy get going here. And come back to center. And then begin to swing your arms around. Bend your knees a little bit so that you've got lots of springiness in your knees. And let your arms hang off your shoulders. There's no work with the arms here. You're just moving your torso, moving your shoulders around, and the arms swing around with them. Again, be mindful of your body. Notice what it feels like to swing around, back and forth. You can bring your arms up. If you have lots of room, you can have your arms out straight. And you see, if you're paying attention to your spine, what you notice is that you're getting a bit of a spinal twist here. As you move your arms up, you're getting it a little bit higher up in the back. And then wind that down again. And back to Tadasana, to our standing mountain pose. Notice your breath. Breathe deeply for a few minutes. Really inhale deeply. And as you exhale, let your whole body relax. Let the exhalation continue just a little bit. Notice how the body feels now. It feels different than it did before we started. Always coming back to our standing mountain pose, Tadasana. Now let's work with a face massage. This is something that we often don't do. So bring your hands up. We're going to work with this part of the thumb to start with. We start with a gentle massage on the forehead. Just bring your attention to that area. Small circles. You could bring the thumbs over the different parts of the forehead, from the hairline down to the temples, from the inside of the eyebrows up to the outside edges. And then bring that same down to the cheeks. Don't actually rub on top of the eyes. You could rub on the top of the cheekbones, the muscles of the cheeks. And then with your fingertips, take your fingers from the inside of your eyebrows up to the edges. Allow that to smooth out any tension. And the same with the whole of the face. Very lightly brush your face. No pressure at all. Just brushing away any tension or tightness. And then back to Tadasana, our standing mountain pose. Notice what it feels like right now in the tissues of your face, the aliveness of your face. We're going to change positions here. And it works with the legs. I'm not set up so that I can show you exactly, but you'll get the idea, I'm sure. So we're going to start by putting a hand on a wall or something for support, and then bring your one leg and start to swing it. So before we even get started on that, we want to make sure that we're solid on that standing foot, right? So again, we're going to just come into that foot. Notice what it feels like on the inside of the big part of the foot, by the big toe, by the little toe, and by the heel. Bit of springiness in the leg, behind the knee, and then begin to swing. So we're just letting everything else in our body be relaxed, and we're letting our legs swing from the hip. So from the side, we always start with that stability of the standing leg. So notice the balance, the left toe, the left foot. I'm standing with the left leg to the wall. So the left foot is the standing leg, the right foot comes off the ground a bit. And then notice your balance. The back of the knee is a little bit soft, lots of length through your whole body. And then begin to swing your left leg from the hip. Let yourself enjoy that swinging. We're opening up the right hip, noticing that feeling of movement through the hip. And then begin to swing now from the lower leg. So the movement is coming from the knee, warming up the knee joint. And then from the ankle joint, flex and extend your foot. So you're moving the ankle joint. And then the toes, move all of the bones in the foot. And then come back to standing on both feet. And move your hips around a bit. Notice what the energy feels like now on the right side and the left. And now move to the other side. If you're on a wall, now my right side is to the side on the wall. And so we're going to work with Tadasana. We always come in and out of any pose through Tadasana, the mountain pose. Bring your weight into that right leg, right foot. Balance your weight between the big toe side, the little toe side, and the heel of your foot. And then begin to swing. Let your left leg swing now, bringing some motion into your left hip joint. And then your knee and your ankle joint and your toes. And then bring your foot back to the ground so that you're standing on both feet now. And notice your breath. Get yourself settled again in your balance of both feet on the floor, both feet underneath you, so you're steady. And exhale and inhale. And notice your breath as you're standing. The breath is quite different when we're standing than it is when we're sitting, of course. When we have our shoulders over our hips, over our ankles, and we have a bit of softness or space in the back of the knees, then we're able to stand in such a way that we could still relax our belly and breathe. It's the core muscles that hold us up when we're standing or when we're sitting upright. So as you're standing, just notice what it feels like to breathe. Can you breathe diaphragmatically? Can you relax the shoulders enough so that there's room to breathe? And that's the extent of the yoga right at the moment, partly because of recording issues. I'm not really in a situation where I could show you my whole body as we move through a routine. But it's important just to have a simple practice like that that we could do. So we start with moving the head and the neck, we'll move the shoulders, we do some gentle twisting. We work with the hips, the knees, and the ankles. And even just a few minutes of that can really help, especially if we're sitting for long hours during a silent retreat. So, whether you've been doing a movement practice with your body or whether you're remaining kind of from that stillness, it always feels good to be relaxed. Let's do a guided relaxation practice. If you like, you could lie down. You could sit up as well, totally up to you. But whatever you do, see if you can get yourself settled so that you can feel comfortable, warm. We'll do kind of a classic guided relaxation practice. So if you're lying down, it's a bit easier. You could be really supported through the whole back of your body. If you've just done this little movement practice, you'll notice that the body feels a bit looser, perhaps. There might be some warmth, some energy in your body. Just notice how you feel right now. And what the movement and the stillness have in common is that we're mindful in both cases. So tune into your whole body from head to toes. And let your body really settle back into the floor. However, it is that you're being supported in the room, the floor, the bed, a chair. And scan your body and see if there's anything in particular you could do to be more comfortable. Might be a shift of the hips or something you could let your shoulders open and relax back onto the floor. A little bit more length through the back of the neck or the lower back. And notice your breathing. Notice how your body moves as you breathe. And then bring your attention to the top of your head and relax your forehead. Lift your eyebrows up and let them settle. And notice your eyes, the eyelids, the corners of your eyes, and the deep muscles of your eyes. As we're relaxing the body, we notice that we're not really doing anything. We're really just bringing our attention there. And as we do, the body relaxes. Just to bring your attention to your face, to soften the forehead and the eyebrows, the eyes. We automatically relax. The body always wants to be in a state of relaxation, of softness. And as we relax our body, we just notice that things start to feel a bit easier. Bring your attention to that flow of air in the nostrils. Notice the coolness as we breathe in fresh air and the warmth and the moisture of the exhale after it's been in our body. It's warmer, and then it reaches the fresh air of the intake again. Just notice that process. The feeling of the flow of air over the membranes in the nose. And even as we're really paying attention to the flow of air in the nose, be also aware of the forehead and the eyebrows. Allow them to be soft. And include now the attention on your mouth, the corners of your lips, your tongue, your jaw, the hinges of your jaw. Notice the sensations and energy in your mouth. Make sure that you have a bit of space between your upper jaw and lower jaw so that your teeth aren't tight together. You could move your lower jaw around a little bit if that would help. And notice as well your tongue and your vocal cords. Let your speech be at rest. And notice the energy in the face and in the head. Sometimes there's some kind of sensation that's not really physical. Even after we relax the jaw, there might still be some energy there that feels a bit tight or that's moving in some way. Notice all of that. Bring your attention in. And bring your attention from your head down into your neck and shoulders, through the front of the throat and inside the neck. Sometimes there's an energy in the throat area. If there is, we could just notice, acknowledge that it's there. And if not, that's fine too. And then bring your attention down through the sides of the neck, top of your shoulders, and down into your arms. Through your upper arms, lower arms, and down into your hands. Notice the energy in your hands, the palms of your hands, back of your hands, your fingers. Be aware of your hands. And bring your attention back into your face. Soften again through the forehead, the eyebrows, the eyes, through the mouth and your jaw, and down into the sides of your neck and shoulders, and then to the back of your neck, through your upper back, and let the whole back of your body relax. As you're noticing the muscles of your neck and your shoulders, your upper back, see if you could allow them to soften so you can settle completely into the support of the floor. And notice any energy or sensation in the back. This is where we brace ourselves. So if that's not necessary in the moment, see if you could let that release too. So that not only the muscles are relaxing, you're also relaxing that protective energy along the back. Let your body really settle. Let the floor support you. If you're sitting, let your skeleton support you, your shoulders over your hips, so that your whole back and neck can relax. And bring your attention around the sides of the rib cage to the front of the rib cage. Notice the muscles that cover your rib cage. And notice where your body is moving with your breath. If you're breathing diaphragmatically, the movement will be around the lower rib cage. There won't be really much movement up top in the chest. And your stomach will be in motion as you're breathing in. There's a rise in the stomach area. And a settling and softening as we breathe out. Anchor yourself to that moment, that movement, just as you're noticing your breath. Notice the muscles, let them soften. And notice the interior spaces, what's happening there as well. In the heart center, coming up to the throat center and the interior of your head. Relaxing the muscles of the forehead and the eyebrows, softening through the mouth, the neck. Back into the chest and the heart center, that area protected by the rib cage. Down through to the stomach area. It's very common to have some sense of energy, something that's going on in the stomach area. So notice your experience there, and also notice the movement of your body with your breath. Anchor your attention to that. Notice the smoothness of that motion as we relax more and more in our body. The breath reflects that. If your mind is fairly quiet, we can have a very light touch of attention and simply rest. If there's more activity in the mind, it's very helpful to focus more intently. As you're breathing, for instance, if you're focusing on the belly, really notice how your whole belly softens as you breathe out. And if you don't do an inhale, if you just relax your body, just wait for it to inhale. We can trust that that will happen. And notice what kind of an inhalation it is, if it's fairly small, if there's a lot of volume. What kind of an inhalation does your body want to do? And then settle right back into the exhalation. Let yourself really relax, soften all the muscles, and take any intentionality out of the breath right now. You're just softening and letting the body breathe. We notice if there's pauses, we notice what the pace of the breath is, if it's large in volume or fairly small and subtle. If we're not doing anything at all, what's going to happen with our breath? Notice what the body wants, what the body needs right now. This is purely a mindfulness practice with the breath at the moment. And our part of this is to allow our body to be relaxed. You could check again through the face. Notice what's happening in your mouth and jaw, back of your neck and shoulders. And then settle back in to just that, paying attention to the softness of the belly. And notice what happens with your breath. We might watch what's happening physically. As we're breathing in, there's that rise of the belly. You might be able to feel it into the lower ribs as well. The muscle fibers in the stomach are stretching, they're lengthening. And then let and then let your awareness also include your hips and your legs. Notice your feet, the energy in the soles of your feet. Notice your arms and your hands, the energy in the palms of your hands. So that you're aware of your whole body once again from head to toes. Just observing the body itself and how it's breathing. We'll move into silence now for the rest of the session. You could get up and move around. You could sit. You could continue to lie down. And notice that that's going to change as well. What feels like the absolute right thing to do now might be something different in 5 or 10 minutes. So give yourself permission to do whatever feels like it's the best thing right now. And let that shift and change. When we're really practicing mindfulness, that's the thread that brings us from stillness through movement, through working intentionally with the practice, or to something like this where we're really hands off, we're just noticing our body. It's pure observation practice, allowing ourselves to rest. I'm going to be finishing this session in a moment. So continue in your silence, however it is that you'd like to do that. Keep this awareness of the body and the breath. One thing that I particularly enjoy about a practice where we're not doing anything is that we can start to see how the body automatically likes to relax and soften. So the intentional practices are wonderful as well, where we work with the breath and become really aware of the continuity of the breath. We're tuning into the body and letting our body relax. We're focusing our attention on a practice rather than letting our attention wander. All of those are very helpful. And I also notice that as we're doing these practices where we're just observing, that a really deep relaxation can happen that way too. It's good to notice that. Our bodies want to be relaxed. So, our effort really is to keep our attention on the mindfulness capacity that we have, to keep observing, to keep being willing to be present. All of those are so important. And to acknowledge and appreciate ourselves for being here and doing the practices. It's also very helpful, very important.